confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.
Let's collectively consolidate Nigeria's greatness and sovereignty, President calls on Nigerians. And President Tinubu promises more funding to fast-track implementation of Presidential Power Initiative. Hello and thank you for joining us as we bring you highlights of activities around the presidency in the outgone week. I am Musbah and Wahab. You're welcome. Towards a better democratic governance and national cohesion in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has urged the media practitioners to strive more and play their role with wisdom, fairness and sense of national duty. It was at the opening of the 21st All Nigeria Editors Conference held at the Conference Center of the State House, Abuja. President Bola Tinubu in his domain, yet a guest here. His presence is seen as significant by the Guild of Editors being the first sitting president to grace this assemblage in 21 years of search. For that long, the top hierarchy of gatekeepers have taken their watchdog role further in shaping national dialogue and direction. The president, also a major player in the industry, commends the role of the media in the defense of justice and good governance since colonial, through military era and to date.
Their sacrifices are part of the foundation upon which our democracy rests today. Yet, freedom secured through struggle is not self-sustaining. It requires constant vigilance and reasonable exercise. A democracy is sustained not only by elections and laws, but also by the integrity of the public conversation. This is where your role becomes central and indispensable as last man standing.
Again, the chief gatekeepers are opening the gates of national discourse ahead of the 2027 transition period with the theme Democratic Governance and National Cohesion, the Role of Editors. For President Tinubu, this is a necessary national conversation to have, and so urges them to prioritize national interest with objective and constructive critique of government activities, particularly now in an era where the social media have empowered more people the right of way into the media space.
Falsehood can take root before truth has time to speak. In such an environment, the editorial function is more important than ever. Verification must be your anchor. Balance must be your principle. And professional judgment must be your guide. I urge you, therefore, to continue upholding the highest standard of journalism. Report boldly, but do so truthfully. Criticize government policy, but do so with knowledge and fairness. Your aim must never be to tear down what we are building together, but to help build a better society.
As the president expects outcomes of the discussions on this platform, he promises to look into the various challenges inhibiting media sector in Nigeria.
As committed advocate of the fourth estate of the realm, the NTA respectfully requests that your organization, your administration recognize journalism as a public good, deserving of targeted fiscal incentives, legal protection, and developmental support, not as patronage, but to strengthen the foundation of our democracy.
You can hold the government accountable and avoid framing every accountability story as an evidence of irredeemable dysfunction. You can report electoral irregularities and avoid suggesting that the entire system is corrupt. You can cover political competition and remind citizens that competitors will govern the same country afterwards. The question is, ahead of 2027, will you be passive chroniclers of division or active catalysts of the cohesion that democracy requires to function?
Central to this vision of a prosperous Nigeria is an environment where free speech and dynamic media can thrive. I stand before you today to affirm that under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, we have nurtured an unprecedentedly egalitarian media ecosystem. We have over 1,000 licensed radio and television stations operating across this nation. It is significant to note that not a single one has been threatened, gagged, or shut down by the government for expressing whatever views it holds.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
President Bola Tinubu has again called on Nigerians to collectively invoke the patriotic spirit towards consolidating the country's greatness and ensure protection of its sovereignty. He made the call at a presentation of research paper by participants of National Defense College, Course 33, in the State House. Members of Course 33 of the Nigeria Defense College are here at the climax of their critical national assignments. And so, with their findings after a rigorous one-year research within Nigeria and across 23 countries, including 8 in Africa, 9 in Europe, and 6 in Asia. The theme of their research was harnessing indigenous manufacturing for enhanced national security and development strategic options for Nigeria by year 2040. The theme, they say, was fashioned in line with the renewed hope agenda of the current administration. It was a mandate to help the administration in its quest for diversification of the nation's economy.
This topic speaks directly to our determination to diversify Nigerian economy in order to boost revenue generation as well as enhance the socio-economic development of our people.
With 3 plausible scenarios, they give strategic options which they believe can help Nigeria towards greatness.
We strongly believe that the execution of the project Native 2040 Blueprint, coupled with your visionary and strategic leadership, will lead to the transformation of the indigenous manufacturing sector for enhanced economic growth, national security, and national development by year 2040.
Your presentation and the findings delivered to me this afternoon will receive a diligent attention and a thorough review and critical path for implementation.
President Bola Tinubu appreciates the intellectual endeavor, suggesting that Nigeria's pursuit for greatness requires collective efforts.
It is a patriotic duty to look further into the horizon, to be determined and be resilient, to invoke our spirit that can achieve greatness, to train our people, develop our economy, promote industrial development, and ensure that our sovereignty is assured, protected, and will remain resilient.
The 99 participants, including those from African, Asian, and South American countries, graduated in August this year. Nigeria is expecting an accelerated progress as the Presidential Power Initiative, otherwise known as the Siemens Project, prepare for the next phase of implementation. President Bola Tinubu, who met with a delegation of Siemens Energy at the State House, promises additional funding to fast-track the project's actualization. The Presidential Power Initiative was born out of a strategic partnership between Nigeria and Germany in 2018. It is aimed at sustainability and stability in the Nigerian power sector. Since President Tinubu injected more energy into the initiative with the signing of accelerated agreements in December 2023, the minister in charge is here reporting progress.
Under the pilot phase, which is the phase 0, we have achieved significant infrastructure upgrades and capacity enhancements that are already impacting grid stability and reliability across the country. Siemens Energy has successfully delivered and commissioned 10 units of 132/33 kV mobile substations, 3 units of 75 by 100 MVA transformers, and 7 units of 60 by 66 MVA transformers across key load centers nationwide. And this has added an unprecedented 984 megawatts of transmission capacity to the grid.
The project is now set for the execution of a second batch of phase 1.
Our key request for today is to get support on the commencement of the phase 1 batch 2. We have submitted proposals and we look for a budget of 970 million that should be included in the borrowing of the country to build additional substations and to upgrade the systems as we have proposed to the minister and to FGN Power.
The progress to date is notable and we can feel it, but not yet where we want it to be.
And now, President Tinubu expresses his administration's readiness to speed up implementation. He says, with the centrality of sustainable power to development of other sectors, no industrial or economic development could be recorded without constant power.
We are going to resource and, find a way to fund the additional 10 mobile substations as long as we follow this up. It's a thing that we must, all achieve for this continent to see the glory of economic recovery and banish poverty.
The Presidential Power Initiative was conceived as part of a strategic partnership between Nigeria and Germany in 2018 under the immediate past president, late Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the federal government is hoping to strengthen regional development's effort to aid general transformation of the country. President Bola Tinubu made the commitment at a meeting with the ministers of regional development and the leaderships of the regional development commissions. The president also met with his aides on community engagement. Minister of Regional Development Abubakar Momo leads chairmen and managing directors of the Regional Development Commissions to brief President Bola Tinubu on their progress and challenges. This is the first interface between the President and the heads of the commissions since their inauguration. The meeting was behind closed doors. Briefing State House correspondent afterwards, the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, believes the meeting will pave the way forward for development across the country.
We get a better result because we want to start running. The Regional Development Commissions are very, very, very crucial to the development and progress of this very country.
These 7 development commissions Mr. President has put in place, as far as we are concerned on this side, represent the surest bullets we intend to use by this administration to shoot down all development challenges facing us as a nation.
Similarly, the President also met with his senior special assistant on community engagement, where he reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening social cohesion, promotion of peace, and addressing developmental challenges across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones.
Mr. President has promised to also strengthen the peace structures and make our community as safe. So for the North Central region, we've launched what we call the Presidential Community Engagement Peace Structures across the 121 local governments. We've done 43 out of 121 local governments. We've set up community peace structures to strengthen peace and also social cohesion across the North Central region. We've done 43, 21 for Kogi State and 23 for Benue.
We have highlighted to Mr. President the level of out-of-school children, which through my office we've been able to enroll these young, vulnerable children into primary schools. We give them education materials, we give them exercise books, uniforms, and all that they require so that they go back to school. That is one. Secondly, we highlighted to Mr. President the Vompa harvest. Thank God this season a lot of people have cultivated their lands and the land has been green, but the only challenge has always been the issue of fertilizer, which this will table to Mr. President and he will address it.
One of the biggest delegations Mr. President has just bestowed on the Presidential Community Engagement Team is the approach of peacemaking and appeal. So we will be coming down to your regions to appeal to the major stakeholders of the community and let them know that we will do everything to safeguard our country. We all have nowhere to go. This is our country and we owe it to ourselves to protect this country and to advance the cause of our country.
I also congratulated the President that for the first time the Southeast felt included in the scheme of things. I told him that we've not seen, in fact, I told him that it's been long that we saw any federal presence in the Southeast, but now because of his appointment of the minister, we are seeing a lot of road construction ongoing. We are seeing a lot of things that are happening in the Southeast, courtesy of his government. I also told him that Southeast was tired of the sit at home every Monday. We can't, as a region, be sitting at home every Monday and allowing others to decide our fate. We are also waiting for him to also address the other issues that are raised in Southeast. We were able to tell him about I was able to tell him about the agri program that is ongoing, and he promised to support us. I also told him about the Skill Up Southeast that is ongoing, where I'm training people from all the 95 local governments in the Southeast, and he also pledged his support. So I want to thank Mr. President for creating this office. This is the first time we're having a presidential community engagement team, and my colleagues are very active in all their regions.
The Presidential Community Engagement Team, representing the 6 geopolitical zones, was established to bring the government closer to the people and ensure that citizens are informed of federal government policies and programs under the Renewed Hope agenda. Nigeria is championing the revolution in African trade under the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The Nigeria Customs Service says it is ready to play its role in this regard, along other key players on the continent, through the instrumentality of a customs partnership for African cooperation in trade, codenamed Customs Pact. The Comptroller General of the Service, Bashir Adeniyi, gave the updates of a periodic briefing called Meet the Press, organized by the Presidential Media Team. President Bola Tinubu recently extended the appointment of Bashir Adeniyi as the head of the Nigeria Customs Service. It came at a price and perhaps a more challenging mandate. That is, to facilitate the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and to reflect the country's status in maximizing the benefit therein.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made it very, very clear about the intention of his administration to use trade to promote economic development, to alleviate poverty.
The service says it is collaborating with other cross-border supporting agencies within Nigeria and across the continent to enable smooth takeoff of a regional trade revolution. It is on the platform of the World Customs Organization being hosted by Nigeria to engage key players, particularly private sector.
CPAC represents what we want to achieve when we bring customs administrations together under one roof to take action to improve African trade, to forge partnerships, to put bridges across all the various elements that are involved in trade. It is basically the initiative of Nigeria because we want to key into what Mr. President has identified as a deliberate policy thrust to ensure that Nigeria becomes the hub of trade in Africa. So customs is positioning itself as an agent of that revolution in African trade.
On the recent removal of Nigeria from the Financial Action Task Force grey list, the Comptroller General attributes the achievement to the effective coordination of relevant agencies under the current administration.
The lessons that we learned from our exit this year is the power of coordination. It's about all of the agencies who are working in these ports to come together under a very strong partnership synergy and under the coordination of one agency. It takes all of our agencies in the port to work together to create a better experience for our port users.
Apart from revenue generation, the Customs Boss equally reveals that his service has developed tools to improve on its other roles of trade facilitation and contributing more significantly to national security.
Over the years, revenue has been a key performance indicator in our operations. Over the past 2 years, we have shown that we actually have other mandates that we do, and that we can make the best of that. We can, be the very best in discharging our mandates in those other areas: national security and trade facilitation. And a number of tools specifically have been designed to help us facilitate trade and enhance national security. I'm happy. I will just make one statement about the fact that these tools and instruments have been very, very impactful. Apart from the fact that the ranking agencies say that customs is the most improved agency in the ease of doing business, we've also seen remarkable seizures that have made seizures of drugs, seizures of arms and ammunition here and there. The totality of this has also translated into more revenue for us, such that in 2023, my first year, we had over 70% increase in revenue. In the second year, we have 101% increase in revenue. We're already counting by what percentage we are going to surpass the one for 2025.
And that has been the executive recap for the week on the NTA network service. Thank you so much for being part of it. Join us again next week for another package of the program. We wait to see what the week brings for the president and its subordinates. God bless you and yours. God bless Nigeria.
Confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.